Good evening, welcome to the Kelly Wells Show, where we talk University of Pikeville basketball. The Bears have wrapped up the regular season and finished 17-11, 9-7 in the Mid-South Conference. I'm joined now by the NAIA National Coach of the Year, Kelly Wells. The regular season's done. It's the final regular season edition of the Kelly Wells Show. We hope there's about 3 more of these.
We're praying for 3 more of these, no question. But it has. We finished up senior night on Saturday and sent our seniors out the right way with a great 10-point win. The seniors all played well, and to give us an opportunity to build some momentum going into the Mid-South Conference tournament was key for us. And so we were pleased with the way we wrapped up the regular season. Like to have a few more wins, but we're 17-11, 9-7, and moving forward.
Just going to ask, coming off a national championship season, and now you look at a 17-11 mark, 9-7 in the conference, without looking at specific games that may have gotten away. Pleased with that record?
Well, we're 16 points away from being undefeated in our league. I mean, that's how close the margin is, and that shows how close our conference is. I mean, we had 3 teams tied at third at 9-7, and 2 of us are 17-11 identical that we play in the tournament. Saying that, I think there's a lot of people that fell in that boat. I think the conference is good all the way throughout. We've got winning records over every league in the country. Just a tremendous league this year. Very evenly matched in most ways, and it'll be interesting to see this tournament, see how it plays out.
How challenging is that going into each and every season, recruiting and preparing your team, knowing that everyone else is doing the same thing, and you know that most years it's going to be that type of parity going that deep?
It really is, and it's a challenge. You really have to press yourself to find the best fit for your program, finding the best player who does all the other things as a good student and as a good person, somebody you want to bring into the family, bring into the community. So it makes it tough and puts a lot of pressure on you because you know that other schools are going to have great talent, and we've got great coaches in our league. That's always going to be a constant. So it's a challenge. I mean, there's no other league you can watch on TV or anything that's got better coaching than our league has. For our level, it's the best conference in all of NAIA. So it poses a lot of problems. So we write down everybody's best players, and we go out and try to find better.
No doubt about it. It's the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. Coming to you tonight from the East Kentucky Expo Center. If you don't recognize the backdrop, well, if you've been to a UPike game, you do. But it's the Expo Center and getting prepared for the 15th Region Girls first round play tonight as we come to you with Bears basketball. Coach, let's wrap up the regular season. UVA-Wise on Saturday, senior day, great day to see the seniors able to go out the way they did. 10-point win, and it was a game we saw Trevor Setti do what Trevor Setti does many times, 39 points, a career high. We hadn't quite seen that, but huge day for Trevor.
And no question, he was really in a rhythm. He was taking great shots. He only took 1 bad shot with 39 points. That's saying a lot. He was very efficient. He rebounded the ball, had 6 rebounds as well, passed it well, let the game come to him. He came off the bench. It was senior night. Him being a junior didn't get the start. So he came off the bench, and you can just tell in his demeanor he's in a better place right now. His attitude's great. Of course, things went well, too. I mean, 39 points, things went very well. I told you if he wouldn't have missed those 2 free throws, he could have had him 41. But Trevor had a great night, and as well as our team did. I thought our team really did some good things against a Wise team that's got 5 very good players, and we had to come out and play. Travis Berry was hitting some shots early, and we had to really make some adjustments, and Josh Jordan on the inside did a good job. He had a double-double. So it was a good challenge for us and a really good way to wrap up the regular season against Wise and moving us in the polls where we have a chance to compete for a national tournament spot.
Sure. And with the week off leading up to Wise, that a factor in that game at all? More time on the practice court, maybe a little fresher legs?
Possibly. They did play another game. Wise played Longwood in between there, so that could have been something. You hope on senior night that brings out a little bit more energy. And we've been trying to really get more energy going in our guys. We come out flat a lot of times. I didn't think we came out with great energy against Wise. I'm not sure the whole connection to how we can get off to a better start. But, that's got to be a plan for us. We can't come out flat no matter when we play. And the good and the bad part is now you either come out and you play with energy or that's it. And I think our guys understand that. Hopefully that they'll play as if they understand that. Because if we get off to a good start, we're a really good team.
Yeah. Really good indeed. Trevor Setti, 39 points. He got off to a good start. It was also good to see Andrew Young shooting the ball well again. He had a couple of tough nights.
Well, it was nice to get back home and get into a rhythm. we've got 3 guys that have to score for us. I mean, let's
Right.
just be frank. You know, Chris McHenry, Andrew Young, and Trevor have to score points. They've got to score 45 to 50 points a night for us as a collective group for us to be in a position to win games. Obviously, Trevor carried the load in that contest, but nonetheless, that has to kind of be a factor for us. And if we get all those guys scoring, then we've got a chance to score 88, 89, 90 points a game and puts us in a great position. So it was good to see Andrew get off to a good start. I didn't think Chris McHenry played his best game, and hopefully he'll get that going again. But if those 3 guys will gel together, start getting their offense together, we've got a chance to be really, really special.
Chris McHenry did not have a great day on senior day, but you have to like the fact that he's had very few games that he wasn't up to potential.
Yeah, and he gives you an honest effort. He wants to be good. He'll make some mistakes. He wants the team to win, but he'll make some mistakes. But again, you know, at the end of the day that he's giving you an honest effort and he's trying his best. And you know, we had to play him at the point a lot more because with the seniors out there in the lineup, I think 18 minutes we played our seniors together in that game. So he spent a lot of time at the point, and that's not his natural position. He's more of a combo guard. But he did some good things for us, and leadership-wise, and you know, turned it over more than we would wish him to turn it over, and miss some shots that he normally hits.
Sure.
But let's get those out of the way so he can move forward in the tournament.
That's what we're going to do as well. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Wrapping up the regular season, the Bears finished 17-11, 9-7 in the Mid-South Conference, heading to the Mid-South Conference tournament. Coming up this Friday, 4 p.m. tip-off, where they face the University of Cumberland. We'll talk about Cumberland's. We'll talk about the Mid-South Conference. We'll talk about the national tournament, the national rankings after the regular season. When we come back, the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless from the Expo Center. Welcome back in, the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Andrew Joyce, joined by the National Coach of the Year, Kelly Wells, as we talk University of Pikeville basketball. The Bears have wound down the regular season, now heading to the Mid-South Conference tournament. And Kelly Wells, we talk about how challenging the Mid-South Conference is regular season. It's a long grind. Began back in November this year, wind up at the end of February. Now you go to a tournament and you condense all of that talent, all the parity, into a short 3-day span. How challenging is it for any team, not just yours, any team, to win that tournament?
Well, I can assure you there's not a team in the country that want to stick their team into our tournament and see how they came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that difficult, and it's also exciting because as a competitor you want to play against the best, and it's no question that our conference is the best. But you know, it's a little overwhelming if you think out past one game, and that's all that matters is you try to survive and move to the next night. And 3 games in 3 days, and actually, to be frank with you, when we went to the national tournament, even though the schedule that we played last year, it was kind of a relief to play against somebody who doesn't know all your tendencies,
Sure,
and doesn't know your ins and outs of everything you want to do. We're in the conference, all the coaches are going, it's not going to be who's got a secret, it's going to be who comes to play. And it'll be a grinded out, tough game every night, but competitors like it kind of stuff.
Mid-South Conference tournament, of course, at Frankfurt's Convention Center. Friday, 4 p.m. tip-off as your Bears take on the University of Cumberland. Let's back up just a little. Play-in games been conducted, so one game done, and Rio Grande defeated Shawnee State 61-56. You surprised at all by that?
Very evenly matched teams, 2 teams that are very familiar with each other. They came in our league from another league together, and you know, they split during the regular season. A little surprised that maybe Rio went over there and won, but you know, either one of those teams was capable of winning that game, and congrats to Coach French and his team to be able to come into the tournament, and you know, they get the reward of getting to play Lindsey Wilson. So I'm not sure how great that is for him, but he'll have them ready, I can assure you.
One thing about it, they get Lindsey Wilson on a neutral floor.
Yeah, that's better, and you know, it doesn't matter any night, no matter if it's 1 seed playing the 8 seed, it's going to be a game. You can count on that.
Your opponent, the University of Cumberland, is a team that you own 2 wins over this season. I've seen both of those games, and a little different look second semester than we saw first semester from Cumberland's, but your team enough to get it done against a team that one of the historically best defensive teams in the conference. They'll get after you.
Yeah, they've always given us problems.
Any worries about your team overlooking Cumberland's?
I don't know as if it's overlooking. I've got a lot of worries
Sure.
for many reasons. One, it's the tournament and it's one and dones, and our team has gradually changed, so it's different to try to see what the best things are for our team. And I do have some concerns, but nonetheless, it's a team that we've been successful against.
Right.
They'll use that as motivation. The polls coming out, they'll use that as motivation. But at the same time, and I actually just came from a nice meeting with our guys and talked to them about the urgency of trying to be prepared, because it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to have anything that's going to be free. It's going to be hard earned, and I look forward to that, and I'm hoping our guys understand that they can't be complacent. They've got to persevere every second to get through a tournament of that nature, and hopefully they'll do that.
Cumberland's a team that could reach the national tournament with a couple of wins in this tournament, just as your team is. It's important to both teams, and I think both teams will come in ready for that.
3 through 6 are either playing their way in or playing their way out. There's no gray area in that. As I turned my ratings in this, yesterday, there were some unhappy customers about the way the polls went, as we've been in that position before too.
Sure.
But you try to do what's best for our league, and that's what I've done. And all 3 through 6 will have an opportunity to either play themselves in or play themselves out, whatever be the case.
I think I know your answer to this, but you like having your own destiny in your hands.
I do. I'd like to already had it in control and
Sure.
already be in, not have to worry about it. Just got to skate through and get us a conference championship. But we're not in that position. But I do like the fact that we have an opportunity to earn ourselves into the tournament.
Right.
We don't. We're not staying begging for anything. We can go in and earn it. And if we get, I think if we get ourselves 2 wins, I think we're in the national tournament. But we've got to. If we get to that championship game, we better find a way to win that thing.
It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We're coming to you from the East Kentucky Expo Center in downtown Pikeville. It's the home of the Bears. Right now, the Expo Center preparing for 15th Region Girls first round action. We'll step out and take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with the National Coach of the Year about the Mid-South Conference Tournament just a bit more, and the national rankings that came out on Monday. The Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in, the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Andrew Joyce with the National Coach of the Year, Kelly Wells, where we talk University of Pikeville basketball. Tonight, a little different scene for you. We're coming to you from the East Kentucky Expo Center. They are preparing for the 15th Region Girls first round action. And Coach Wells, as we prepare for the Mid-South Conference Tournament, I know your team preparing for that. Your team back in the national rankings, just outside the top 25, receiving votes in this week's poll. Of course, Georgetown in this week at number 12, Lindsay at 9, your team third. I guess 3 other teams from the conference receiving votes as well, heading to the tournament.
Yeah, we're trying to get as many as we can get up in there, and trying to really look out for the conference's best interest. We're trying to get as many up there as we can, and realistically, I don't know if we're going to get 4 in, but that's my vision, that's my goal of trying to get to that. We've just beaten up on each other so much that our overall records don't look as polished as some of the teams that have just frankly bad conferences and can roll through there and get 22, 23 wins. We just don't have that luxury, and so it makes it difficult in that regard. I've tried to use our tiebreaker this week with us at St. Catherine's tie to try to pull all 4 of us up. With their 14-12 record, it didn't really pull them as far as I would like to have seen that go.
Right.
But we've got our 4 spots, and that way we can play ourselves into them for the tournament. That was my biggest concern, and this poll this time really means nothing. It's the next one that matters.
Sure. Lindsey Wilson with 20 wins, Georgetown with 22. Are those 2 teams in if they get knocked off in the first round of the tournament?
I think so. I think their body of work has been good enough. I think the teams that they've been good all year. Our overall record against Independence, the Trans-South, the other leagues has been very, very good. So I think we're in great shape regardless. Obviously, it wouldn't be ideal for them to lose. That makes it even tougher than it already is. But I think those 2 are secure, and I think we'll get a 3rd in there if it's the right team. If it's the wrong team, it has a bad record, it may be difficult. So it's a pressure-packed rating system this year.
Let's be selfish. Let's talk about Pikeville right now. If the Bears get 1 win, do you get into the national tournament?
Well, think the scenario depends. I think if we get one win and then Lindsay beats us, who's the #1 seed in our conference, I think we're okay. But I don't want to risk it for that. I think if we get 2 solid wins, I think we're in for sure. But again, that only gets us to 19 wins. I really would like to see that 20-win mark, and I think I'd feel really good about it. Obviously, if we get that 20th win, that means we've won the conference tournament. Sure. So that would be ideal, and that's kind of a marker for you. And you look at a team like Campbellsville, is the team that I really feel bad for, is that their conference record hasn't been great. They're 8-8, but their non-conference year has been tremendous.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those years that we've got 6 teams that are good enough to go to the national tournament and win games and have a chance to get to the Final Four, but we won't get that opportunity to get 6 teams in.
8 teams in the Mid-South Conference tournament in Frankfort. How many of those teams have a realistic shot to win the tournament?
I really believe that there's 6 teams that can realistically win it. You know, Rio's got a chance with the momentum going. I don't think Wise is deep enough. They only play 5 players, and that's it. They're not going to play any more than that. I don't think they've got chances to win games. I don't think they can string it together. But I think there's 6 teams that are capable of, as we've proved throughout the regular season, that there's 6 teams capable of winning that tournament.
It's the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. We talk about the Mid-South Conference tournament. Friday, 4 p.m. tip-off. Of course, we'll have coverage on Z-Rock 107.5 beginning at 3:40 Friday afternoon from the Frankfort Convention Center. Cumberland's the opponent with a win Saturday at 6, and that would be the winner of Lindsey Wilson and Rio Grande. Not going to ask you to look ahead to that. But how do you feel about your team through this week's practice, coming off a win over Wise, heading to the conference tournament? What's been the mindset? How's practice been this week leading to the tournament, if you can read these young guys' minds at all?
Well, I thought last week, heading into the Wise game, we had a complete week of good practices. I thought our body of work that week was tremendous, and we played better. We didn't play great, but we played better. This week, we've come out and we've had a couple good days, and we've had a few letdowns. It's just, this team's different. It's a hard team to get my hands around, not put it around their throats. It's been hard for me not to get my hands around them, but we're just different. We don't really have the energy that I like to see. We don't really complement one another as well as I would like us to. But when you look at our season and our record, you know, there's no game that we haven't had a chance to win. It's been right down the stretch. We're 16 points away from being undefeated in our league. Just a lot of variables that could really change the complexion of things. But we strike that iron hot at the right time and continue to get better. You know, we've got a chance to win this thing just like we did last year.
Let's get a conference championship this weekend. 3 wins would do that. That would put us back in Kansas City for the national tournament, and we'll enjoy the Kelly Wells Show quite well next week.
Well, that's kind of our mission, and we break our huddles now. We say 20. That's 20 wins. We get those 3 wins from 17 to 20. That's a conference championship, as well as getting ourselves a national tournament on our own. We earn that right. And that's kind of our vision. That's kind of our goal. I don't want to go to the tournament thinking let's win 1 game or let's win 2 games. We play to win the conference championship, and that's what we want to do.
And that tournament is one of your goals preseason.
No question. You know, we have several goals. One of those is to graduate all our players. The other goal is to win the regular season, win the tournament, and win the national championship. So some of those goals are not obtainable now, but we still have 2 of those in sight for us. And, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to try to work for that.
Coach Wells, let's go get those. We're all in.
I appreciate it.
It's the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless from the Expo Center in downtown Pikeville, the home of the Bears. Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. tip-off. The Bears take on Cumberland's in the Mid-South Conference Tournament in Frankfort. Our coverage begins at 3:40 on Z-Rock 107.5. Be sure and join us again next Tuesday evening. Hopefully we're talking about a Mid-South Conference Tournament championship and talking about a trip to Kansas City for the national tournament. It's the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. Good evening.